This next story from the New York Post. Mom of autistic boy shot by cops said he was scared and running away. This young boy was had autism, and his mother called the police to deal with him acting out, and then the police came and they shot him a number of times while he was running away. This is a very cowardly incident, but as you can see, there are no black looter mob riots because of this boy. In fact, I haven't heard a word out of black looter mob. They only care about black people. It's only an issue when it's a black person who's killed. And that's because the narrative is white cop kills unarmed black man. Hands up, don't shoot. And as it turns out, that whole line was bullshit. Actually, Mike Brown was trying to get the cop's gun when the cop rightfully shot him. In fact, Mike Brown was not a very good person. Neither was George Floyd. Quote, he was scared and running, end quote, Golda Barton told the East Idaho News. Quote, I just want to know why they would do such a thing, end quote, she said of the Salt Lake City Police Department. Quote, like why, ... why didn't you do anything else, end quote, she said. Probably because we should have had cahoots go there instead of the police. The police should be serving in the capacity of law enforcement. They should not be serving in the capacity of parent with a gun and handcuffs. That should be left up to the parents, and then we should have health professionals deal with as many of these situations as we can. I do slam Democrats a lot, but the cahoots thing, that came from Eugene. I am in Eugene, and we have seen this work for years. There's no question in my mind that cahoots is the way to go because I've seen it. I've been to enough raves. I've been to enough festivals, seen enough people flipping out on drugs and overdose and die on drugs that I know that the police are not the correct thing to do in that situation. You need to have normal people who are health professionals come in and deal with it. And there are a lot of cool liberal type people. Liberals are great people. When I slam Democrats and when I slam lefties, I'm slamming people who are dogmatic, who are the critical race theory, the doctrine of diversity people. But monocultures are bad. Groupthink is bad. So just keep that in note. I'm not slamming all liberals. I'm just slamming lefties, people who are engaging in bad behavior. The mom said she'd called the cops for help because the yelling, screaming boy was suffering a mental breakdown. But when cops knocked on the door of the family's Gleendale home, Lendon fled the house in fear, she said. She was in her car when she heard the gunfire. Quote, I heard the guns and yelling and the guns, and then she sat there in the car for what felt like a long time, and I was waiting for someone to walk over to me because I just didn't know what had just happened, end quote, she said in an emotional baritone. Barton, I think is how you pronounce that. Quote, and I was like, okay, They just unloaded a whole clip of my son, and probably he's dead because he's so small. End quote. The boy suffered injuries to his intestines, bladder, shoulders, and ankles. Eesh. Those intestinal injuries get bacteria everywhere. That stuff can kill you. Shut your heart down. He might still die from just some bacteria that's up there that might shut his heart down. I don't know. They probably hit him with some antibiotics pretty hard. Quote, he said he can't feel anything in his left hand. From my understanding, he got shot in both feet. And quote, his brother Wesley Cameron said. So, quote, so now we'll never have to do things we we used to do, like longboard and play video games together, end quote. That sucks. Sadly, Black Looter Mob probably doesn't care because he's a white male. Even though he's a kid, they're probably actually rooting. They're saying, retribution. Now you got some. You deserved it. This is why African Americans in the hood rob people so much, is because they think you deserved it because they hate you. Actually, no. If you're doing stuff like that, that makes you a piece of shit.